Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. Idrissa Gana Gueye has returned to Finch Farm after being called up to play for Senegal. Even though he was injured, he went away, he was checked out, they confirmed he had an injury to his knee and he has been sent back to Finch Farm now. No idea how this will impact Everton in their next game and whether he will be ready for that game against West Ham, but he will not be available to play this weekend. So I suppose from that point of view, it's good. He's going to have another week's rest. Obviously, it's very clear that he can't play. He's going to have another week's rest and hopefully be back for the West Ham game. If not, the Arsenal game at the latest, because clearly he's someone we need in that midfield and someone we're very reliant on when it comes to pressing the ball and getting amongst the opposition. So hopefully he'll be back as well as other players we are missing at the moment. Yannick Bolasie, who's obviously on loan at Aston Villa at the moment, talk in the Birmingham-based presses. Aston Villa want to keep him permanently next summer. Now this is without him kicking a ball yet, so we'll wait and see whether this stands up in 8 months' time or so. But it's talk that Steve Bruce wants to bring in all the players permanently that he signed on loan. But as I say, they haven't watched them play, and hopefully it'll be a productive year for him at Aston Villa. I don't really see any future for him at Everton now. I think his age and the injuries he suffered just means that his time at Everton is now over. And obviously, we want to bring down the wage bill. We want to bring down the age of the squad as well. So I imagine he will play for Villa this year, and then it'll be open whether if he has a good year, maybe he will decide to stay, or maybe he'll decide to move on somewhere. Somewhere like Crystal Palace that he was hoping to move to. But if he has a good season with Villa and they are promoted, then maybe that will be enough for him to stay at Aston Villa. Next weekend sees the start of VAR trials in the Premier League. Everton have not been selected for these trials. Now let me just tell you what these entail. Basically, the Premier League are looking at a command centre, very much like the World Cup. Now what they're going to do, they're going to have the Saturday 3 o'clock games, which obviously Everton aren't part of, next weekend, and they're going to see how that command centre copes with dealing with all those games at the same time. Now let me just stress that these trials do not concern the referees in the games. The referees will not be linked up. No decisions made will have an effect on those games. It's not like the trials in the League Cup or the FA Cup where they're actually happening and will affect the game. These trials are strictly to see how the command centres will cope with those decisions. So those people will be watching them, they will be dealing with them, but no real-time decisions will be made. So it's not a case of, well, why haven't we got it in this game and we haven't got it in another game? Nothing will affect the real games. It's just to see how that centre deals with all the issues at once, like the World Cup. Obviously in the World Cup, we only had the third group game that we had more than one game at a time. So it was every game was pretty much individual. Whereas this will have five games going on at the same time. But that's pretty much the most you'd ever have in the Premier League anyway. And it's how they deal with all those decisions happening. So we'll have to wait and see. It's for the Premier League to bring in next season. I think it's going to be. This is not a case of it's being rushed through because the standard of officiating is terrible in the Premier League. No, this is the start of the trials for next season. So I don't know whether later on the season they'll start reeling out real-time, real-world trials. We'll have to wait and see. But this is the first stage of it, and Everton will not be involved in that. Everton have opened the Blue Base. Basically, it's the old St Francis social club behind McDonald's, and it has been opened as a centre for the elderly with dementia and social isolation. It's basically another community centre that Everton are involved with. On a match day, I think it's for the disabled fans who I think you went into a ballot and had to be get a membership for it. But during the week, it'll be run for as a community centre for, as I said, the elderly with dementia, social isolation, to go somewhere and just get involved in different things, whether it be bingo or just people seeing other people, friends. And again, magnificent from Everton. They've spent £800,000 opening up this new centre. Obviously it's just round the corner from the free school, from the hub, which is helping transform Liverpool 4, and helping these new places open for the community, and leaving something behind, leaving a legacy, so that when Everton do eventually move to Bramley-Moore Dock, there is something left behind. And obviously with the plans for Goodison Park as well, and what that will entail, it means that Everton will always be part of the community in L4. And it's just, again, just going to show that a football club is just more than 11 players playing on a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon. It's there for the benefit of the community all the time, and it's absolutely fantastic. Marco Silva opened it up, and he actually talked about the future and said, he's here for the long term at Everton, and hopes that it is a long term project at Everton Football Club. And he has mentioned before that it's not just a football club on the pitch; it's a huge part of the community of it. And obviously, there's plans going forward for a centre for mental illness as well. So it's really good. It shows that Everton Football Club, you can be really proud of them. Not always, may not always be proud of them on the pitch, but we can always be proud of them off the pitch for things like this going forward. And this is something that me and Baz are looking forward to getting involved in the future. There's a few projects that we've signed up for ourselves, which will be interesting, but hopefully we'll start to feature these centres and these people and the people behind them on some shows going forward, that hopefully we'll start next week looking at, because it's a massive part of Everton that needs to be covered more, and hopefully we'll be covering them more in the future, as the things that we volunteered to do ourselves. They're going to be interesting, and you'll hear more about them soon on Toffee TV. But as I said, absolutely fantastic that we've opened this new blue hub, blue base. So fantastic. Everton have been linked with a couple of young players today. Luke Matheson played for Rochdale against Bury in the Checkatrade Trophy. He played 75 minutes. He started as a sub. He came on after 15 minutes and got man of the match at right back. Now he's 15 years of age, but anyone who watched him was massively impressed by him, and everyone thinks he's got a massive future in the game. And Everton have been linked with him today, as well as the likes of Manchester United and a lot of other Northwest clubs. A lot of people are saying this kid has got a huge future in the game. As I said, he's only 15. He's only just finished his school holidays, and came on and played, and was, again, as I say, anyone who watched him said he was absolutely incredible. So that is a name to look forward to in the future, whether it be at Everton or elsewhere. Another player we've been linked with is George Bello, 16-year-old left-sided player. Made his debut last week for Atlanta United in the MLS. Played against Wayne Rooney. And again, a lot of people saying this kid has got a huge future as well. Starting at 16 is not the norm. So again, we could have a right back and a left back there sorted for the future. So two names we've been linked with today. Under 21s Checkatrade Trophy. Everton's first game will be against Bradford on September the 25th. I think they were supposed to play this week, but there was issues over the first game. It's now the 25th of September. And Henry Onyekuru, who's currently with Nigeria, has been included in Galatasaray's Champions League squad. Fantastic news, as is the fact that he's playing part of the Nigeria squad. All these things should help if they continue with him getting a work permit. We'll see him finally, hopefully, make his debut for Everton some point in the future, but they will all help with his work permit going forward. There you have it. That's been today's Everton News Daily. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.